Ya comienza Artistas All Over the World con Verónica Alegre. Encontranos en IGTV y en YouTube.
Hi, I am Verónica Alegre and this is Artistas All Over the World. And today I'm very happy because we have an international artist. Her name is Allyson Briggs. She's an American singer and her band is Fleur Seule. How are you, Allyson?
Good. It's nice to meet you here virtually.
Yeah. So tell us, Allyson, how did you start to work as a singer?
I started singing here in New York about 7 years ago, and I created the band after I met first a guitarist, and then he recommended his friend who plays bass, and then we added drums, then we added horns, and the band kept growing and growing. And now we have up to 13 people who play at once. So
Wow.
We've been here about 7 years in Times Square.
Mm-hmm. How nice. And do you or did you study singing?
Yes. So I went to NYU and I went for musical theater and foreign languages. And so I did a lot of studying in college, but I also did a lot of training in choir and classical music and jazz and just kind of all different styles. And the kind of 40s jazz and more classic jazz standards and repertoire was what I always loved. That was always what I was drawn to.
Is the technique important for a singer or not?
I think so, because if you're going to sing a lot, which I used to do, I used to sing about 7 shows a week, and to maintain that, having a good technique definitely helps you keep up your stamina, and it helps you, get through longer shows and still protect your voice, but still be able to use it as best you can. So having a good technique, and like I have certain exercises and warm-ups and cool downs, just like if you're an athlete working out and using those muscles hard, you're going to use your voice muscles hard, and you want to take care of them.
Mm-hmm. And do you compose a character for every song? Is interpretation important for the singers?
Yes. I think you shouldn't just sing a song just to sing it unless it's just for you for fun. I think if you're going to present it and perform it, you should have a reason to share it with people. Usually it's and with this repertoire, it's such great material that it's very easy to connect to it. It's, universal things like looking for that special person that we all can identify with. So when you connect to kind of the message of the song, it tells you why you need to sing it to other people. So, and good music will do that for you already. So,
are languages important for singers? How many languages do you speak?
I speak 4, working on more.
Which one?
And we do some French, German, Spanish, English. And I'm trying to learn more Portuguese because now we have a lot of friends in Brazil.
Wow.
And we also do songs in Italian and Yiddish.
If you can say to us some words in Spanish.
Okay. Well, yo hablo español porque mi esposo es puertorriqueño. So ahora yo también, tú sabes.
Muy bien, muy bien. ¿Dónde conociste a tu esposo? ¿Dónde conociste a tu esposo?
Mi esposo en Nueva York, aquí en Nueva York.
Ah, very good, very
A
good.
su trabajo.
Ah, perfect, perfect. So, tell us, Allyson, what singers are your reference?
Oh, so many. I love Ella Fitzgerald, of course. Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan. They're kind of the queens of jazz, but also I love Edie Gourmet and all of her crossover albums that she did with Rio de los Panchos. And she did a lot of Spanish language albums. So I like her style and kind of the big band singers like Frank Sinatra and the Andrews Sisters. So I take a lot of different influences, and even Celia Cruz, like early Celia Cruz when she was singing with Sonora Matancera. I love that old school like cha-cha vibe that she had going. So
I read one of the critics that talks about you. It said, a female Frank Sinatra with the look of Marilyn Monroe. This is what they say about you. Very nice. So
that was very nice.
Yeah. So tell us, is it possible to make a living out of singing? Which one is the
To make a living,
reality?
yeah.
Which one is the reality of artists in New York?
Well, right now, I mean, up until about March, I was making a living doing music, live music. So it was very possible. Right now, it's challenging. We have to figure out how do we do this now. So everything is kind of going virtual. And we are trying to do more live streaming concerts. I do 2 to 3 a week, and just it's mostly to keep people motivated and connected. What I'm waiting for in New York, because I live in Times Square, so we're still under a strict quarantine. We're waiting to be allowed to at least get the band together and do shows as a band live. So that's kind of the next step for us, and that'll help us, I think, be able to get going a little better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What was your hardest moment in this profession?
I would say this pandemic, honestly, has been the hardest moment, because we were kind of going really fast, just coasting along. We had so many great shows, and then all of a sudden it was like, stop and figure out a new way to do it all. It was just like, whoa. So this has definitely been the hardest moment to figure out how to get through.
Yeah. I am going to read a phrase that it is on your Facebook ban, that it says, unless we support our musical creators, there will not be any music. It's hard, no? It's hard, but it's true.
Yes, because we by nature gather people. We gather people together to share that experience live, and that's the magic of live music and live theater, and those concerts. And that's exactly what we cannot do right now, is gather together. So if people want to see the arts, live music, acting, the ballet, those things survive, contributing even a couple dollars, just a little bit, to the artists that they like and enjoy, to their live streams, it adds up and it helps us survive and keep the music going. Because this is how we're going to basically be doing concerts now, is here on Zoom or on Facebook Live. And if you're able to give $1, $5, that small amount adds up, because we have a lot of people tuning in, and it will help us as artists make it through till we figure out how to do this again.
How nice, how nice. So can you tell us about your band? It's like a travel back in time?
We focus on the 1940s,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the classic old school music. It just has something really special about the music that was written then, and it's meant to be very nostalgic. It's like traveling back in time and just kind of gives you a break. And we focus on that kind of classic repertoire around the world in multiple languages, so we can sometimes give it that Latin flair. We have like some hot jazz and, you know, that American swing, and I like to just keep the variety but always keep it classic.
How nice, how nice. So was it hard for you as a woman to manage in the show business?
It has been a little bit challenging. Usually in New York, because New York is very ahead of its time, some people who don't think that a woman should be in charge, or she couldn't really be the band leader, you know, or running this company herself, like who's really in charge? I have gotten that question before, but you know, I just say, it's me. I run the show. I'm in charge, so I can take your question.
Have you had uncomfortable situation just for being a woman in this profession?
It has only been a few times, but yes. Usually New York City, we are kind of forward thinking and with the program, but there have been occasions where you know, I've had someone, you know, say to me, well, you know, but who's really in charge? Like, who really runs things here? Like, who should I talk to? Or they, you know, there have been a few moments where it's like they don't really think that I could actually be running the company, but for the most part, people don't really think that matters anymore, which is great, at least here in New York.
In my country, in Argentina, there are a lot of women murdered by men. We call them femicidios. So we are fighting here for our lives. Does that happen, or this did happen in United States? A lot of murders by woman murders by men?
Well, I'm sure it does happen. You know, you hear about domestic abuse type cases, which I know is still a problem, and actually during the pandemic has been reportedly even more of a problem because people are kind of stuck together now with their abuser. So I have seen that on social media. I'm not aware of what the statistics are, but I know it is still a problem. We have made a lot of progress, but we're still making progress.
It's a big fight. So we are going to change the subject. Allyson, you are a very fashionable singer. How do you choose your outfits?
So I'm always looking, always shopping. I love to go to the East Village in New York City. There's so many vintage stores down there. I usually like to hop around in like the East Village and Lower East Side, but I like to look at websites from the UK. They have a lot of great vintage styles in the UK, and so there's a couple of websites that I've found where they have like cool retro styles and pin-up dresses and things like that.
Because your dresses are of a particular decade, no? The way your dresses are of vintage, no? Vintage of, I don't know, decade, 40 decade or something like that. It's connected. How nice.
Mm-hmm. Like 40s, 50s inspired.
How nice, how nice. So is Instagram important for show business?
Yes, very, very important nowadays, because everyone has either Instagram or Facebook and they want to check you out, they want to see what you do, and because there are so many, pages now, it's good to remind people when you have shows, and it allows us, especially right now, it's great to have Instagram because we can stay connected. And like I'm doing an Instagram live tonight, so we can do that. I can share videos and photos of my fashion, and it's a great way to help people stay connected, and for bands to promote their shows.
Mm-hmm. And what is your advice for a young singer?
I would say, if you think you want to pursue this professionally, then don't expect to make a lot of money when you get started. It's a long but rewarding journey. You need to have patience, and you need to decide what you are about, what you are okay with doing. What is your style? What do you want to bring? Because every time you come in contact with someone, essentially they're going to kind of ask you to change who you are to fit what they want. And you have to decide, does that work with who I am as an artist and what I want to represent? Or do I need to say no, thank you? A lot of times you'll have to say more no's than yeses, and not be worried that, oh my gosh, this is my only shot, I have to take this opportunity because I'll never get another. Like, don't ever think that way, because you will have to say a lot of no thank yous before you say yes, this is a good fit. So I would say, don't be scared to say no, it's not right for me.
How nice. So how is the pandemic in New York? Is there a quarantine?
Yes, because New York City, we have so many people, and it has been hit pretty hard here. We're still under quarantine. I live in Times Square, so we are definitely under quarantine. New York City and the 5 boroughs pretty much are still in lockdown. I think New York State, some outer regions where they have more space, are starting to, try to get back to work a little bit. We are so ready to go back to work. We can't wait.
Yes. So are the producers, they are making a new protocol for shows, or they are talking about something like this or not?
Well, we are waiting to see. Broadway, it looks like, will be closed for a while, and everyone is trying to find new ways to do stuff online, create kind of, there are like hosts who will do variety shows where they'll feature a lot of their friends and they'll do live interviews, or they will put together people's music videos pre-recorded and kind of create like this hour-long pre-recorded live stream, basically, so that there's no internet interruption. So people are getting creative and trying to keep shows and concerts going virtually.
Mm-hmm. So Allyson, what do you like most from your country, from New York?
Well, I love that New York has so much going on, and there's so much music and culture and great people, like characters. We have so many fun people who come to our shows, and just seeing all those different like New York characters is so great. I just love the energy and the constant something to do.
Okay, so can you tell us your Facebook and your Instagram so the people can get in touch with you and can listen to your concerts, live concerts?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so we are at Fleur Seule. It's FLEURSEULE on Instagram and on Facebook, and we have about 2 to 3 live concerts a week.
Wow, a lot. Well, thank you so much here from Argentina. I hope everything changed in a good way, and I hope one day I could see you at your concert in New York.
Yes, yes. Please come and see me and let me know when you're coming so we can say hello.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much to all the people who are listening to us. And this is Artistas all over the world, and you can see us in IGTV and YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you very much.